Pleasant good afternoon and welcome into Tiskel Gym at Oak Knoll School of the Holy Child in Summit, New Jersey. My name is Joe Vasile alongside Tom Amfiletto. You're watching the Prep A Volleyball Championship here on Strive TV, and we've got a great matchup here this afternoon between the Oak Knoll Royals, who obviously are the home team, and the visiting Montclair Kimberly Academy Cougars. And, well, Tom, what we've been seeing out of these two teams, especially the warm-ups and over the last few games, this should be an excellent matchup here today.
Yeah, some serious firepower on both sides. Oak Knoll with the number 1 seed coming in. Montclair Kimberly, though, with some serious firepower. I look at the big three, Sam Dowd, Jessica Schmitz, and Kennedy Robinson. The numbers that they put up all season long have been astronomical. Kennedy Robinson, 186 kills. Schmitz, 138 kills. Dowd with 107 service points and 247 digs. She's a libero for this Montclair Kimberly Cougar team. For Oak Knoll, on Oak Knoll side, they have some excellent talent as well. The one that stands out to me, most of all, the one that we saw in warm-ups almost take our head off a couple times, Gabrielle Ercoli, 123 service points, 112 kills, 147 digs. And her teammate, Grace Ebel, also look for her on service as well with 100 service points on the year.
Including 42 aces. Oak Knoll, a team really very adept at serving and also digging the ball out as well. 5 players with over 120 digs this season. It certainly is a team effort as far as the, well, Royals go this season. They will be the team to the right of your screens in the royal blue jerseys with the white numbers on the front and back. Montclair Kimberly to the left side in kind of the navy blue with the white stripes up the side, white numbers on the front and back as well. So we're just about set to get things going here in the opening set to determine the Prep A champion in volleyball here in 2014.
So this is part of our NJISAA coverage of the championship matchups here. We did the 2 boys and girls soccer games for Prep B this Sunday. We're going to do the boys and girls Prep A finals tomorrow, and this is the Prep A final for volleyball here live from Oak Knoll.
Kamani Freeman was the one to serve it away for the Montclair Kimberly Cougars, and we are underway for this afternoon, and we'll start off with a point for Oak Knoll. That one just got chipped right out of bounds. And so it is the home Royals. Pretty good cheering section on hand. Off to the early lead.
There really is a great turnout here. We have a mascot, Kim the Cougar, showed up from Montclair Kimberly Academy. And we have another point here for Oak Knoll. Oak Knoll, the energy is just out of control. This is a small gym. The sound reverberates pretty well. And this is an exciting atmosphere to watch some championship volleyball.
Maria Bowie is the server for Oak Knoll. And a big block that time. And who was it? It was exactly what we were talking about before, Gabrielle Ercoli.
Ercoli is just she is dynamite around the net. She's very, very dangerous, very, very strong player.
Already a 3-0 lead here for Oak Knoll in the opening set. Now the Cougars will try and set something up and just, well, try and kill some of the momentum the Royals have built up. Got to get it over here, and they cannot as it falls down to the hardwood floor, and that'll make it 4-0 Oak Knoll.
And that's a really nice dig by Dowd, but just way too far back in the court there, and really just couldn't get it to her teammate Kennedy, who was trying to save the point for Montclair Kimberly. Couldn't get it done.
The ball that time went a little bit wide off of the spike attempt, and so Montclair Kimberly on the board with their first points of this opening set.
And Schmitz is going to start it off serving here. Schmitz was probably the most impressive hitter that we saw in warm-ups from Montclair Kimberly Academy.
And a nice save that time by Oak Knoll to keep the ball alive off the serve. But they're unable to come back on the return. And so now Montclair Kimberly has cut the lead to 4-2. Well, 2 serving 4 here in the opening set. Once again, it'll be Schmitz, who had 50 aces this season so far. And you can make it 51.
Great effort by Oak Knoll. And that's the thing about volleyball, Joe, is you're never out of it. You can come back. You have a good server. You get in a groove offensively, and you're right back in the game.
That time looked like pace and rule got a little bit crossed up by the set, but did a nice job of chipping it back over. Big hit that time. Looked like it was Kennedy Robinson.
And we're all tied up, Joe. That's all it took.
And, you know, Tom, it's like you were saying, in basketball they often say a lot that it is a sport of runs, but perhaps volleyball almost more so a sport of runs than just about any other, because like you said, you get a good server in there,
yep,
and all of a sudden you can take a 4-0 game and now make it a 5-4 lead.
And MKA on a great run right now with Schmidt serving.
And that time just looked like a little bit of a lack of communication between the Cougars as that one ended up, well, falling right in the middle of all 6 players. That'll even the score back up at 5 and give it back to Oak Knoll. That time Sam Dowd had a little bit of trouble handling the serve, and Royals are back up 6-5 here in the opening set. Serving for the Royals is Grace Ebel. Good dig that time by Dowd, but ended up hitting some of the rafters. And then Kennedy Robinson's drive went a little bit long. Make it 7-5 now in favor of Oak Knoll, who's now come charging right back with 3 straight points of their own.
They're feeding off the energy of the crowd here. A good job of taking advantage of opportunities.
Robinson goes up for a drive, and it's dug out nicely. That time by Ebel. Going up for the spike, but getting denied by the net was Carly Pompey. And that'll give it right back to Montclair Kimberly, 7-6. The score here in the opening set.
A really impressive dig by Ebel, who not only was able to dig it up, but got over the net as well to keep the volley alive. But MKA able to steal this point.
Hasten Rule just chips it over the net, and he's going to come up with an ace, as Oak Knoll was unable to return. It's just knotted up at 7.
Really nice save there, Joe.
And another good serve that time by Rule, unable to get a return was Oak Knoll. And so far, Montclair Kimberly being buoyed by some good serving right now out of Pace and Rule, but originally out of Jessica Schmitz.
I think the spin on that kind of confused Najee Thompson a little bit, unable to dig it out.
Royals still not able to get a return off as the spike attempt was just slammed right into the net, and now it's 9-7. Montclair Kimberly. I'm going to take home set number 1 in the Prep A Finals. It's Kim the Cougar riling up the traveling fans. And it's going to be another ace, 4 in a row. Now for Rule. Just a very impressive streak that she's on right now. That was a good block. Coming up that time, Gabrielle Cole got her hands up in the way. But the point's going to go in the direction of Oak Knoll.
Very, very well-earned point there, Joe. Staying alive the entire time, continuing to provide opportunities, and eventually they were able to come up with it.
They're able to come up with it here, as well as that time the dig from Schmitz was a little bit low to handle for her teammate Grace Fiandris. Just not very good setup on that play by the Cougars. And now we are all even at 10 apiece. As her Cole's got herself a nice streak here off her serves. Robinson was the one who tipped it over for the Cougars. Good dig that time by Dowd. Set up, spike Robinson. just was able to keep that one in bounds and swing things back in favor of MKA, 11-10.
A nice point by Robinson. She has been doing it all season long. We said 186 kills coming into this game, and that's her first one of the game so far, I believe. So, very impressive player.
Off the serve. Ball ends up going out of bounds as Oak Knoll couldn't set up properly. 12-10. Robinson that time spiked it right in the net. We'll send it back Oak Knoll's way, 11-12.
That's good defense there by Margaret McGovern, really giving absolutely no room on the other end. We got a back and forth matchup so far here today. Gym's starting to fill up, as you see in the top left corner of your screen.
Yeah, some standing room only down there. The serve was in bounds, an excellent one that time. That'll knock this game back up at 12-12. So Oak Knoll tries to reclaim the lead. It's Olivia Hindy, the server for the Royals. Just coming up with her 14th ace of the season. It's a good one, dug out by Dowd. Time for the hit was Freeman. She's able to bang it home.
It's a really, really nicely placed ball by Freeman. That was outstanding.
13-12. Now the score just about halfway home in this set. Of course, play up to 25, win by 2.
Joe, if there was any doubt the two best teams in this whole tournament were playing, I think they've erased it so far here in this first set.
Oak Knoll with a good save trying to get it over the net, and they're not going to be able to. Now make it 14-12, MKA with the serve. It's Maria Lambridis. And she hits that one a little bit short and into the net. Make it 13-14. Oak Knoll takes the serve back. Looks like it'll be Carly Pompey taking it for the Royals this time. Lining up on the left side of the court. Pompey comes up with the dig that time. Just a little bit of a mishap that time. The ball ended up going a little bit backwards, and MKA comes up with a point. They've now got a 2-point lead. 15-13. They'll take the serve. Sam Dowd will be the one taking it.
Sam Dowd just under 30 aces on the year. She is very dangerous when she's in this position.
Dowd comes up with the dig. Spiked home by Jessica Schmitz. And unable to be kept in by Oak Knoll. It's now a 3-point lead for the Cougars, and they've got the serve and a chance to start to run away here in this first set. Dowd serving again, and it goes wide. Point goes to the Royals as they'll keep this one close. Just a 2-point game, 14-16 here in set number 1. Francesca Salerno, the libero for the Royals, will be taking the serve. That was Kamani Freeman coming up with the spike home for the Cougars to make it 17-14.
Freeman is just so valuable for this Cougar team. Both ends of the court, she has just been phenomenal here today. One of the biggest reasons why they are where they are.
Up 17-14 in the opening set, dug out by Dowd. Set coming over with Schmitz, and she delivered a powerful blow to make it 18-14.
Salerno has been all over the court. I mean, she is really getting her money's worth today. She's in a tough position against a very, very strong MKA team as we have a timeout here. But so far she's been keeping her head up, and she has been welcoming every opportunity that she has to make a play.
Yeah, she certainly has. And, give some credit to Oak Knoll as well, doing a good job on a lot of those very tough spikes that we've seen coming from Schmitz, from Robinson in this game. But sometimes, especially on that last one, though, proving to be a little bit too hot to handle.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing so far here today, Joe, is power versus finesse. I think you have a lot of power on the MKA side, and you have some finesse and a lot of well-placed balls and well-organized sets by Oak Knoll. And so far, it seems today in the first set that power is winning out. And, Oak Knoll, like we said, they just can't get their heads down, and they have to find themselves back into this game, and MKA just needs to keep the pressure on.
And so we'll see how they're able to respond out of this timeout here. It'll be Montclair Kimberly serving. Kamani Freeman set up just about 10 feet away from our table over here in the corner, taking the serve. Spike home attempt by Oak Knoll was a little bit beyond the boundary on the far side of the court. And so now it's the biggest lead for either team in this game so far. 19-14, 5 points separate the two opponents.
A little too strong from Ercole there. Just found itself out of bounds. Would have been a really, really nice kill.
Freeman bumps it forward, and MKA will get it over. Good dig by Dowd. Rule goes up and hits it wide. And so another breath of air here for Oak Knoll as they'll get the service back, and it'll be Maria Bowie, their best server, with it here.
A lot of Oak Knoll's points have come, Joe, just by keeping volleys alive and forcing an error on MKA.
And that time they were unable to keep it alive long enough.
Now Schmitz serves again.
Last time Schmitz served, Montclair Kimberly scored 5 points in a row. 5 points in a row here would lead to the set being over. Schmitz is the one who knocks it over eventually for the Cougars. Oak Knoll went up and got in the way of the net. And the point will be awarded Montclair Kimberly, and quite frankly, even without the net issues, looked like it would have been Cougar point nonetheless.
And early in that volley, Joe, a really nice dig from Kamani Freeman. Her technique is beautiful as the point goes to MKA once again. Looks like they're running away with this set. But it was perfect because it just popped straight in the air. And her ability to control that and control the spin of the ball kept it alive for Montclair Kimberly Academy and kept them pretty much in control of that point.
And another timeout taken by Oak Knoll, their second here in this first set. 22-15 is, well, you see some of the crowd and some of our competitors, I suppose you could call them, perhaps just a parent.
Yeah, take it easy, Joe.
As well.
Jeez, always looking to rabble-rouse.
Rabble-rouse. It's not every day that you hear rabble-rouse dropped into a broadcast, let alone a volleyball one.
It's a good one. It's an exciting one so far. We had about 20 seconds left in this timeout, but it was back and forth for a while, and sometimes just the slightest break can turn the momentum in the other team's favor, and it can get away from you quickly. We're seeing that so far here today. I think, obviously with Schmidt serving, it puts MKA at an advantage. They look very, very comfortable out there. It's like when you have your ace on the mound for a baseball team. Everybody just kind of plays better, a little bit more sharp.
So yeah, absolutely big point coming up here for the Royals. Can't really afford to lose this one. And they will, though, as Kennedy Robinson came up with another kill.
And that one was very, very tough to defend. It was set up perfectly, had a nice bump, beautiful set, had a perfect spike there from Robinson to get the 23rd point of the set.
There goes an ace off the hand of Jessica Schmitz. We are now at set point, 24-15. Cougars looking to come away with a victory in the opening set. And they will. That was a very closely contested set for really at least the first 2/3, and then Montclair Kimberly just ended up running away with it in the end.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the final point here, and MKA really just taking advantage of the momentum that they had. A beautiful block there, and they were just playing possess in the second half of that set, Joe. Really, really good performance by the Cougars. Making a statement early. Oak Knoll came out on fire. First 2 points they got in, they were going crazy. And then MKA kind of just settled in. And once they got the ability to serve, it turned into a different contest. And they got Oak Knoll on their heels a little bit, and were able to take advantage of it.
And it's one of those things, especially that we were talking about earlier. You get that good server in there, like Montclair Kimberly was able to do, and you could just go on one of those runs. And the important thing is when eventually they did lose a point, they got right back, they won the next one, and they went right back on the attack.
Yeah, and here's an example of just a perfectly executed bump set spike here for MKA to see Kennedy Robinson with her third kill, I believe, on the day. And Salerno unable to come up with it just because it was just perfectly placed. So some great stuff happening here for the MKA offense.
And it certainly are. We'll be back in, just a couple of minutes with the second set of this one. Take a break until then. In between sets, here are the Girls Prep A Volleyball Championship on Strive TV. Just about set to start the second set of this one. Teams have reversed sides. Montclair Kimberly now to the right of your screen. Oak Knoll set up on the left. It's a 1-0 lead for the Cougars in terms of sets here, so a bit of an uphill battle for the Royals on their home court, though, so that's obviously playing into their advantage in this one.
And Joe, just want to take the time to thank the athletic department here at Oak Knoll for being so accommodating, helping us with the setup here. Jerry Butler, Diane Costa, Alex from the IT department has been tremendous all day today supporting this effort here, bringing it live Prep A Championship here on Strive.
Maria Bowie took the serve for Oak Knoll. They're right in front of us. These teams fighting pretty hard here for this first point of set number 2. Went a little hard, and it was touched, though, by Carly Pompey. And, boy, that one looked like it was probably going to go long if she didn't touch it. And you could see her immediate reaction on that one was one of, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, Joe, I was thinking the exact same thing. If she had let it go, it probably would have traveled outside the boundary line, but a point for MKA.
The time Pompey's dig went a little too far forward, and her teammate Bowie got called for the net infraction. So now it's 2-0 in favor of the Cougars. Still on the offensive here. Kamani Freeman serving. Nice dig out by Salerno. And Carly Pompey spikes it right into the net. She's having a tough start to this second set. As Kim the Cougar really starting to get these visiting crowd fired up as the serve from Freeman goes wide. That'll be Oak Knoll ball. They'll serve it now for the second time. Grace Ebel has the serve. But it's quickly won right back by the Cougars. Looked like Jessica Schmitz who went up and had to kill that time.
And we are seeing Schmitz play at her best on the biggest stage. This is why they named a sandwich after her at Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philadelphia, called the Schmitter.
What's in the Schmitter?
The Schmitter is
I'm
it's
unfamiliar.
a secret.
It's a secret.
Yeah.
It can't be that much of a secret if they sell it.
It's a variation of a steak sandwich, Joe.
Okay. I'm interested because steak is good. It's another point for the Cougars.
MKA really just kind of on a roll here, and they are riding this wave as long as they can. A very opportune time to have Schmitz serve as they can build a very, very nice cushion here early in the second set.
And that's what they're starting to do. They're now up 6-1. After Kennedy Robinson was able to slam that one home right along the near sideline.
And it's just really working out to their advantage, and it's getting to the spot exactly where they want it to go. And that's off the hands of a flying Robinson.
Yeah, they're looking very sharp as that one stays in. Went out. Oak Knoll takes the serve back. Gabrielle Ercoli will do the honors. So try and put some kind of a streak together. They haven't been able to yet, and they're not going to be able to here. As Robinson knocked it home again for the Cougars. I got to tell you, she is really having herself a great game.
Yeah, she's on fire, Joe. She is absolutely on fire, and it has been darn near impossible to stop her. And Schmitz, another excellent job serving there.
Payson Rule now doing the serving for the Cougars, who are up 7-2. And they're going to say that time that Mark McGovern got in contact with the net, and that'll make it 8-2 now in favor of the Cougars. Starting to run away with things here in this second set, but still very early on.
Still very early, still tons of opportunity for Oak Knoll to get back into this. They just need to go on a run and sustain that run.
And it's that time Kennedy Robinson knocked it right into the net. That'll bring it back over to the Royals side. But what I've been seeing, and I don't know, maybe you've been seeing it as well, it seems like Oak Knoll's been a little bit out of sorts here to start this second half. A little bit, not disorganized, but perhaps pressing a little bit too much and losing some of the more technical aspects of things. As coming up with an ace, that time was Olivia Hindy.
Yeah, and Joe, you really got to be able to play loose. I mean, easier said than done in a championship game. You got your home crowd here, but you get down a little bit here in the second half and you're down one set, but you really just can't press. You cannot press because you are always in a match here.
Hindy with the serve again. MKA, though, is able to return. That's Kennedy Robinson knocking it home for the Cougars. Third kill of this set already for Robinson.
And Robinson isn't that tall, Joe. But when she jumps, she's higher than everybody else.
She's got a great vertical jump. Tyler Parker now doing the serving for the Cougars. First we've seen her in that role. As, well, Oak Knoll once again just got a little crossed up.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there, Joe. That can't really happen when you're down 5 points in a match, but that's the first time we've seen something like that, so that'll get fixed.
Parker with the serve, and she's going to come up with another ace. Now make it 11-4 in favor of the Cougars, and timeout called here by Oak Knoll. They're going to try and regroup, and boy, they certainly need to find something here, Tom.
Yeah, they need to, you know what, they just need to get something going here momentum-wise. They need to feed off of the energy of one another. If they're able to get something going. I mean, it's easier to not press when you have a lead. Unfortunately, now they're down 7 points or down 1-0, and it's a lot easier said than done. And you really just need some kind of positive pattern of play here to be able to get you to the point where, you know, emotionally you're back into the game.
And, well, I mean, you saw it just a couple of points ago where you had the two players running into each other, going after it, and still a little bit pressing. And perhaps the message here, just relax, have fun, and try not to get too far away from your game, because, I mean, what we were seeing when they were having success in the first set was they were setting things up nicely, they were placing everything well, now pressing a little bit, and when you do that, you lose some of that accuracy, you lose some of that precision that they built their game on.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's the most cliched thing in the world to say in sports, but it has to be 1 point at a time. You have to treat every single point like it's its own match and start winning point after point. Go 1-0, and that's how you get back into this match.
And a nice volley back and forth. That time for Oak Knoll. They looked a lot crisper, but ended up making a mistake hitting it into the net. Now make it 12-4.
And you can thank Kamani Freeman for that point. Had a beautiful, beautiful dig to keep that volley alive and eventually put Oak Knoll in a tough situation and force them to hit it right back into the net.
They're going to award a point here to Oak Knoll. Didn't quite exactly see what the ruling was, but they blew that one dead, well, before it even left the side of the Cougars.
Now, the mascot looks like a cougar.
It does.
But it just cheered pretty excitedly for Oak Knoll. So maybe we're wrong here.
Maybe it's a royal lion.
That could be it.
That could be it.
Yeah,
I
haven't
don't know.
watched the Nat Geo channel in a while.
Well, the lion is the king of the jungle.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Jury's still out.
I mean, King Kong could be the king of the jungle.
Here we go, Joe. Oak Knoll getting on a bit of a run here.
Yeah, that's definitely the Oak Knoll mascot.
Yeah, he's definitely excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why we thought. It just looks like a cougar.
It is a cougar. It's got to be a cougar. It looks like a cougar. If it barks like a cougar. Granted, I've never seen a cougar close up before.
Yeah, me neither. And another point here for Oak Knoll. Storming back. A tremendous comeback here. Things look very dire. Salerno started taking over the serves. Now they're right back in it, down 6 here in set number 2.
They're starting to get on a roll now as it looks like Montclair Kimberly's the team that's having a little bit of issues. And pressing on the defensive. And Salerno's dig that time, well, looked like it might have hit off of a little bit the side of one arm more than the other. Well, it'll bring it back to Montclair Kimberly, 14-7, as we get the thumbs up from the mascot. Maybe it's not even a mascot, and it's just a student dressed up in the Halloween costume still.
Could be. Another point for Oak Knoll, 14-8 now.
It wouldn't be the first time I've seen that. Well, I'm sure the Mascots Union wouldn't be too happy about that. As a point for the Cougars makes it 15-8.
Yeah, that's frowned upon. And Kamani Freeman has been outstanding in this set. She has really owned this set for MKA. She is determined. She's focused. She didn't even celebrate that last point. She just sprinted back out ready for her serve.
And she unleashes a good one. Salerno's going to have to get it over, and she does. That one ended up getting tipped off of Salerno's arms as she tried to dig it out.
I think that was
Cougars,
Schmitz on the kill, and it's one after the other. If it's not Robinson, it's Schmitz. If it's not Schmitz, it's Freeman. Just a stacked lineup here for MKA.
They're doubling up. Oak Knoll right now, and a nice dig by Salerno, and they get it over to keep it alive. Nice job by the Royals. That one goes out. That'll be Royals ball, and that was all set up by that excellent dig by Francesca Salerno.
It really was. Just an unbelievably gutsy play on a ball that was smoked by Schmitz to be able to get that point, and that could be the break that MKA needs. I'm sorry, that Oak Knoll needs.
Grace Siebel with the serve for the Royals. Job to keep it alive, and coming up with a big block that time was Gabrielle Cole. Coley tried to tip it home, but was unable to get it over the top of the net. And so, well, seems like every time something goes in the favor of Oak Knoll, something comes right ahead and swings it right back to Montclair Kimberly, unable to sustain much of an attack here in this second set.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate point there because Ercole did everything right. And then at the end, just kind of hit it into the net as MKA gets another point here. And Oak Knoll will call another timeout. 18-9 is the score. So
it looked like Bowie that time just miscalculated what to do there on the set and ended up having it hit off her hand and then come down and right on top of the noggin.
Yep. And like we've been saying all game long, Oak Knoll cannot let their body language indicate that they feel out of this game. You know, we saw a great run with Salerno serving, and the angle that she is able to provide when she serves is pretty effective because that thing barely gets over the net, and it's very difficult to dig out. So all Oak Knoll really needs to do now is Schmitz is now serving. She's probably the best server on MKA. If they can get a point out of this relatively early within the serving session and get the ball back in their favor, I mean, they can storm back into this. Like I said, 1 point at a time. They really have to focus on each and every point as if it's an entire match.
And at this point, it might very well mean that much. 18-9. As Schmitz will serve for the Cougars, up 1-0 in terms of sets, and trying to win this second set and win the Prep A championship, as that'll be an ace for Schmitz. Najee Thompson tried to dig it out, but was unable to. 19-9 now. What a block that time by Oak Knoll. Going up for it was Gabrielle Ercole. And there's the win that the Royals needed. And now they need to try and string together a couple of points in a row. And check that, they're going to say it ended up going out of bounds. It'll be MKA ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe, Oak Knoll was not celebrating nearly enough as if Ercole would have gotten that.
And now after that point, you can make it 21-9 in favor of Montclair Kimberly. And just like a shark, they could probably smell the blood in the water here going off for the kill.
And
there's the break for
for
Oak Knoll.
And this would be a truly awesome, incredible comeback if Oak Knoll is able to pull this one out. Down 11 points here in the second set.
Ercole off the serve. And the point goes to Montclair Kimberly. They now need just 3 points to lock up the Prep A championship. On the road at Oak Knoll. It'll be Pace and Rule doing the serving. She doesn't get a whole lot of power behind. Big spike that time from Kennedy Robinson, makes it 23-10. Now it's just 2 points needed for Montclair Kimberly to lock up the second set.
I think that's her 5th kill in this set alone, Joe. Robinson has had an outstanding match.
And that one will go out. Once again, another little glimmer of daylight for Oak Knoll. Still try and get something set up here. With their backs up against the wall, Olivia Handy will serve. Takes the run up and serves it into the net. And even if that one cleared, would have been out. So now it will be championship point here for the Cougars. Doing the serving will be Tyler Parker. Trying to put this one to bed. Dug out by Salerno. Pompey bumps it over. Robinson, and we have a game. Montclair Kimberly is the Prep A champions for 2014. Winning the second set, 25-11.
Really dominating performance from MKA. This was a business trip. They packed their lunch pail. They took care of business, and this was an absolutely phenomenal performance. A lot of credit to Oak Knoll for gaining that 1 seed and getting here to host the championship game. A little bit too much firepower for MKA, and congratulations to the Cougars on taking this one home. We'll take another look at the championship point here, and pretty fitting that it comes from Kennedy Robinson.
Certainly if we were to pick a player of the game here today, you could pick really one of any 2 or 3 Montclair Kimberly players, but it would be Robinson.
Yeah, she was just absolutely fantastic all game long.
And like you mentioned about, not the tallest player out there, but the way she just gets up and uses that vertical leap that she has to go up and make those kinds of spikes or just make her invaluable.
We'll take another look at the final point in its entirety here, and just set up perfectly for Robinson as the game plan was the entire game. To set it for Robinson, perfectly positioned, perfectly executed, fits it right over the hands of the Oak Knoll hitter, and that'll do it.
And that will do it for our coverage here this afternoon of the Prep A Championship. Once again, final score 2-0 in favor of the Montclair Kimberly Cougars. They win the Prep A Championship in volleyball for 2014. So for Tom Monfiletto, I'm Joe Vasile saying have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow for boys soccer from NJIT at 2 o'clock.
Tomorrow we have St. Benedict's hosting the Petty School for the Prep A Boys Soccer Championship live from Lubetkin Field at NJIT. Over on the girls' side, the Hun School of Princeton will be hosting the Pennington Red Raiders for the Prep A Girls Soccer Championship live from the Hun School. And we'll be having both of those. You go to YouTube, you go to our YouTube channel. You search for it on YouTube, it'll be there.
All right, that just about does it here. Like I said, final score 2-0 in terms of sets for the MKA Cougars. They win the Prep A Championship. Have a great rest of your night.